Radio check, loud and clear. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We have got the Abu Dhabi race today. It's 58 laps of racing. The race starts in 14 minutes' time. And there is quite a lot of action to look forward to. We've got the final race of the season, a couple of battles for the Drivers' Championship, for drivers trying to finish ahead of their competitors in... Well, of course, we have a little bit of a battle between... Wait, what? I totally forgot. Oh yeah, between Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso, both drivers tied on 200 points. I think it's going to be a little bit easier for Fernando Alonso to score some points today, given that he's starting in 7th position, whereas Sainz is starting in 16th. And Lando Norris is not to be counted out either. He is only 5 points behind in 6th position. So we'll keep an eye on those standings as the race progresses. And then, of course, in the Constructors' Championship, where money is on the line, quite large sums of money, in fact, are on the line. We will be... Ferrari are looking to try and beat Mercedes. There are only 4 points between the two teams. Mercedes on 392 and Ferrari on 388. So, at the end of this race, if Ferrari can do better than Mercedes, they'll be nabbing, I think, around 10 million, 12 million of prize money away from Mercedes. Ferrari get 12 million extra for coming in second place rather than coming in third place. So, of course, Ferrari will be very, focused on trying to get that second place. And then Aston Martin, if they can have a good weekend, then they'll try and beat McLaren. But by the looks of it, the McLaren do have far more pace than the Aston Martins. And then just looking further a little bit down the field, you've got AlphaTauri 7 points behind Williams, looking to get that 7th place off Williams and get an extra 9 million in prize money. So yeah, that is what is on that's what's on the stakes for this race. Drivers and teams looking to score as many points, hopefully to get either for pride's sake and finishing higher up in the Drivers' Championship, or prize money. So there we go. All right. 11 minutes now till the race gets going. And nothing much else of note. I will let you know of the strategies that will be used for today's race. It might be a one-stop, might be a two-stop. Really does depend, but most likely it will be a one-stop. We'll have to wait and see. Really, it is the last race of the season. Round number 22 of this year at Abu Dhabi, and season finale as usual. Yeah. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so the expected strategies today are most likely going to be a one-stop, just the mediums to the hards, the standard one-stop strategy that we have at most races. But we'll have to wait and see, because of course there is the chance of a safety car around here. We have 40% chance of safety car deployment in the past 7 years, and the same can be said for the virtual safety car as well. And of course, the drivers, they lose 22 seconds in the pit lane under safety car conditions, 15 seconds under green flag conditions, 22 seconds under green flag conditions, and 15 seconds under safety car or virtual safety car conditions in the pit lane. So yeah, those extra couple of 7 seconds or so will be very beneficial to anyone pitting under the safety car, yeah. Current track temperature is 34.4 degrees Celsius, air temperature 27.3, and wind temperature 6.1. Those temperatures will be dropping as right now it is sunset in Abu Dhabi, and as the temperature gets, as the night goes on, the temperature will get colder and colder, and they will get less and less. Temperature will get colder and colder, and tyre wear will get better and better. So the teams will be going all the way, most likely on a one-stop. Yeah. We've just got the engineers now just discussing with their drivers what sort of strategies you got. You got the Red Bull mechanics out with a clipboard and pen, pointing out some sort of strategy to Max. I'm not exactly sure what. Can't exactly read the paper, but nevertheless, yeah. Do you know what it is in Fahrenheit? Lol, I'm American. No, I have no idea what it is in Fahrenheit. But I think it's maybe 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see, degrees to Fahrenheit. To Fahrenheit. It is 93.2 Fahrenheit. I don't know. Yeah. Can Piastri win this Grand Prix? Well, I mean, it's a bit of a tall order. If something bad happens to Max Verstappen, if he crashes out or he gets a DNF or engine issues or something like that, then yeah, Piastri could win. But most likely not. How come Oscar does not have a grid penalty? I don't see why Oscar would have a grid penalty. Yeah. Hoping it rains. I mean, hoping it rain in a desert is pretty wishful. Of course, we are here in Abu Dhabi, which is in the middle of a desert. So, yeah, predicted chance of rain is 0%. Yeah, 8 minutes now. Let me know what you guys predict for this race. Who do you think is going to win? Craig Hutchinson, thank you for the donation of $3 Australian. I think it's Australian, I'm not sure. Imagine Hamas flying on paragliders. I hope so. Interesting. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're pretty far apart, I don't really know. My mum did say it did rain there last week, but you're right, it's very rare. Yeah, I remember, I think it was 2019, maybe 2019, 2020. They raced in Abu Dhabi, and after the race had finished, it actually started raining. It started raining like 2 hours after the race finished, which was quite strange. If it happened 2 hours earlier, we would have had absolute chaos because nobody would have prepared for wet conditions at Abu Dhabi for sure. Yeah. Right. 1,000% chance Max Verstappen wins. Well, let's not. Yeah, I mean the chances are pretty high. 1,000%, of course, is not mathematically correct, but I'd like to keep some hope there that we could get some action going on. And who knows? Maybe Ferrari's race pace is good this weekend. We really have no idea, to be fair, because FP2, which was the most representative session in terms of qualifying and the race, that we had 40 minutes of red flags and only 20 minutes of running. So, yeah, with only 20 minutes of running, we don't have that much representative information on race pace or quali pace, and I think most of the teams decided to focus on quali pace rather than race pace on that FP2 session. So, yeah, no accurate information whatsoever. Oscar's had a great F1 season. He's one of the future drivers which possesses the power to be an F1 champion. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Oscar Piastri in F3, he won the first season of F3, just right in as a rookie, went and won F3. Same thing for F2. And then in Formula One, he is one of the first rookies since he is the only rookie, since Lewis Hamilton to score multiple podiums in his opening season, which is quite incredible, to be fair. So, yeah, Oscar Piastri has done a solid job, and we'll wait and see where McLaren takes him. Of course, both teammates, Piastri and Norris, very equally matched. It's very similar to the situation at Mercedes, where Russell and Hamilton very equally matched. In fact, on their qualifying head-to-head, they are 11-11. We've had 22 races, and 11 of them Hamilton has outqualified Russell, and 11 of them Russell has outqualified Hamilton. So, if the upward trajectory of McLaren keeps continuing, which I really hope it does, then we could have some solid competition for Red Bull, Yeah. We will just have to wait and see, That's it's quite annoying. I'd love to get accurate information on how fast every team's car is going to be next year. But alas, I mean, even that's not finalized. The teams are still developing over the winter break. Hopefully Piastri and McLaren don't have bad luck. Yeah. They started off the season as tractor and they had a great recovery. So, but it's a lot easier to go from a slow car to a midfield car than it is to go from a midfield car to a top two, top three fastest car. So, yeah, McLaren, they've done the easy side of the job, recovering from a slow car to a car that's pretty quick most of the time. But then they have to, get the fastest car, which is a much taller order. But I'm sure the McLaren engineers are up for it. And they have 3 months of the winter break to develop a car that can do that. The race is now starting in 4 minutes' time. We will have all 20 drivers starting as usual on the grid slots rather than anyone starting in the pit lane. Looks like we haven't had that many issues with reliability this year. Only a couple of drivers taking penalties, and that's mainly because they've had accidents and then damaged components in that. No, not that many reliability failures themselves. I think the race in Mexico, maybe a race in Mexico or Brazil, we had a couple of mechanical DNFs, but apart from that, it was yeah, it's been pretty good reliability all season round. By the way, Mr. Channel Guy, who is your bet here? My bet, well, yeah, I've always say this, but Max Verstappen is the safest bet. Yeah, but the driver I'm rooting for, I would love for Piastri to potentially win this race. I mean, if he could somehow pull that off, that would be incredible. Yeah. Are you an actual commentator or just a fan? Well, I don't know, somewhere in between. I'm definitely not a professional commentator, but considering I've been commentating for 3 years now, um, I'm definitely not just a fan either. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I'm not exactly an industry insider either, but hopefully, we'll wait and see what happens. Hopefully, Sky Sports, calls me up at some point. F1 Game is the son of Martin Brundle. Actually, the son of Martin Brundle's commentating F2. He was commentating a couple of hours ago. Yeah, his name's Alex Brundle, and his voice is literally so similar to Martin Brundle. It's quite ridiculous, really, but it is, it works. The familiarity might actually go benefit him. There we go. Ooh, we've got tyre information, and for some reason, Williams haven't updated their tyres, and we don't know what tyres they're starting on. So, very strange, but it looks like everyone's starting the race on the mediums except for Stroll, Sainz, and Bottas. Okie dokes. We'll have the race starting in 2 minutes' time, so I'm going to get rid of the countdown timer. I'll put up the information, and in fact, I will expand it a little bit so you get a little bit more. Just hang on with me for a second. Okie dokie. So that is yeah, just updated the information there, and now it's just popped itself off the screen. Lovely. This is a little bit annoying, but one sec. All right. Yeah. So, previous couple of Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, we've had the driver that starts on pole position actually go on to win the race. So yeah, the odds are in Max Verstappen's favor. We'll have to wait and see what actually happens. But yeah, it's been quite a while since we've had someone else starting in second or third place go on to win the race. Why is Stroll on one lap old hards? Stroll's on one lap old hards because Aston Martin have this tyre theory. I don't know how true it is. Maybe it's basically their theory is that if they do one lap on their tyres and kind of get rid of the outer layer of shininess, it allows them to be more consistent in their warm-up procedures and stuff. So basically Aston Martin are like, right, we'll do one lap on all of our tires in the qualifying or in practice sessions, just so we get the shine off, and then our tire procedures are just work much better. So that's why Stroll's done one lap on his tires. I don't know why. Yeah, Fernando Alonso hasn't done anything on his mediums, but that's why they typically do that. What do you think if Abu Dhabi wasn't the last race? Which race would you prefer to end the season? Ooh, I don't know. Which race to end the season? I mean, I don't think there's anything particularly special about a race that ends the season. Of course, you would like it to be so overtaking as possible. And you can have a good race there. So Brazil comes to mind. The Hockenheim Ring, maybe. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not particularly sure, but I'm gonna let you guys know about the race strategies for today. So race strategies, as you can see, most drivers starting the race on the medium tires, and the expected strategy is to do around about 20 laps or so, and then you go on to the hard tires, and you go to the end of the race. It is the formation lap. Formation lap is underway. Drivers are weaving around all over the circuit, trying to get as much temperature as possible, so their tires are warm for the start. All right. Do you think Mercedes is going to be able to build a competitive top one car next season? Well, top one car, probably not. But if I could say top two, top three, I think Mercedes definitely do have a shot. I mean, it's really unpredictable. We know Mercedes were good for 7 years in a row, but that's because they had the head start. Yeah. Also, guys, it is Franz Tost's final race in Formula One. So Franz Tost, if you guys don't know who he is the he is the team boss of AlphaTauri, team principal, and he has been there for 18 years. 18 years he has worked at that team, and he has done a fantastic job, might I say. He's been there for Sebastian Vettel's time at Toro Rosso. He's been there for for Max Verstappen's time. He's been there for Yuki Tsunoda, and he's just created a wonderful environment there at the Toro Rosso / AlphaTauri team to allow these drivers to develop their skills in a way where they can actually, in a low pressure environment compared to Red Bull, whereas it is much more high pressure, of course. And we've seen drivers that go to Red Bull and fail. But in AlphaTauri, Franz Tost created a brilliant sort of atmosphere for young drivers to develop. And I must say he's done a fantastic job, and it's his final race in Formula One. Yuki Tsunoda's come over the radio to say thank you for the final 3 years of his career and all the dedication that he's put in to help Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah. All right, so all of the cars have got 100 kilograms of fuel. I said kilograms in a very weird way, but 100 kilograms of fuel in the cars, and they are all lining up onto the grid as we speak. Yeah, Max Verstappen on the outside line for turn number one. He's on the right-hand side. Charles Leclerc on the inside line. It is going to be a race to the finish. Race to turn number one, and then we'll see what happens there. But we've got all 20 drivers now lined up. The green flag is being waved. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights. And it is lights out and away we go. Max Verstappen gets a great start. He's going to push off Charles Leclerc, but Leclerc's got a brilliant start, and Verstappen swoops around the outside, and now we've got Piastri putting pressure on Leclerc. Norris and Russell side by side going through turn number 3, and Norris gets ahead. It's a McLaren 3-4. What a start there. And now going towards turn number 5, we've got Max Verstappen in the lead of this race, Leclerc behind him. Then we've got Piastri, Norris. There might be a bit of inter-team battles there between the McLarens. Fernando Alonso going wide, and there's 3 wide at the back. 3 wide. Absolutely ridiculous. But here it is. Charles Leclerc right in the slipstream of Max Verstappen. He goes to the inside, all the way to the inside, pushing Max Verstappen so wide. Does he get through? Does he? Oh, Verstappen just goes around the outside. He has so much more grip than Leclerc, and he can hold the outside line. That is sensational here. Now it is round 2. Can Leclerc overtake him once again? There's no DRS, but slipstream is as powerful as ever. Here he goes round the outside, and Verstappen once again has the inside line, is able to defend. Brilliant driving there. But Leclerc once again, he takes the tighter line on turn number 9, and he's once again chasing down Max Verstappen. And Verstappen not running away with the race. This is not something we see every day. And Charles Leclerc keeping Verstappen very much in check here. And if he can do that for 2 more laps, he'll get DRS, and overtaking should be so much easier. But that is a great start for this race. Everyone's so close. And hopefully Verstappen just, keeps this gap less than 1 second. That'd be ideal. Well, hopefully Leclerc keeps the gap less than 1 second. Oh God, I say that and it's just dropped out of 1 second there. Not ideal whatsoever. Right. Let's see. Carlos Sainz started the race 16th. He's up 2 places. Hulkenberg had a horrible start, losing out 5 positions there. Yeah. All right, so now Leclerc is now being put under pressure from Piastri. I don't know what the team radio is going on at McLaren. And Lando Norris goes down the inside. Lando Norris at least tries to go down the inside. Piastri late enough on the brakes, not letting his teammate past. But this is going to be extremely close here. Oscar Piastri is going to be chasing down Leclerc, and Lando Norris is going to be chasing down Piastri. Hopefully the McLarens work together, go ahead and score some points, but of course, you've got to remember here they are in the battle for the constructors. If Ferrari outscore McLaren by 4 points this weekend, they get an extra $12 million in prize money. So, yeah, quite a lot on the line there for Ferrari and for Charles Leclerc. So they're going to have to, well, he's going to have to defend for his life, isn't he? Yeah. All right. All right, DRS has been enabled on this lap. We've got Leclerc, he's going to be put under pressure, and we've got a massive DRS train. In fact, we've got a DRS train from second position all the way down to 20th. The only driver who isn't in a DRS train is Max Verstappen, because as we know, he is in a league of his own, and there we go, a fastest lap of the race as well to top it all off. And everyone now coming down the straight, and they have got a whole bunch of DRS here. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. Oscar Piastri too far back to make a move, at least by the looks of it. The rear wing is open. He gets an extra 20 kilometers an hour of speed down the straight, but he is still way too far back coming out of turn number 5 to make a move into turn number 6. Here comes Sergio Perez, in fact, down the inside of Lewis Hamilton. What a move there. I mean, Hamilton not fighting it. He has not had a great race start. In fact, losing positions off the race start. He gained 2 positions and then lost them again. So not ideal there for Lewis Hamilton. And now losing a position to Sergio Perez. Oh, Leclerc's the gap 1.03 seconds. And we saw this in the F2 race, guys. So what basically, Max Verstappen unable to hold the tighter inside line at turn number 9. Leclerc has the front end to do that, and he's able to hold a tighter line through turn number 9, which allows him to close the gap up significantly. Like, there is a major pace difference of those two drivers coming out of turn number 9, and Leclerc gains quite a significant amount of time through there. But the problem is, as they make their way through the remaining part of the third sector, the Red Bull is significantly faster, and there's nothing Charles Leclerc can really do. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to have a quick drink of water, but here they are coming onto the straights. And, is Lando Norris going to overtake Oscar Piastri? Let's find out. Here he is. He's got DRS. Piastri hasn't got DRS. He dropped out of the DRS of Leclerc, and he's under pressure from his teammate. They're side by side into the inside. They're not going to fight it too hard. And Norris is now up into 3rd, and Piastri has dropped down into 4th. There is so much action going on. I actually haven't been able to drink some water. Perez over the radio saying Lewis went wide on turn number 1, which he did. But to be fair, there weren't that many places he could have gone. Who do you think it will be in the battle for second in the constructors? By the looks of it, it will probably be. It's not Ferrari and McLaren. It is. It's Ferrari and Mercedes that are 4 points between each other, and I think it will be Ferrari. You know, Hamilton not looking that quick this weekend, but we've still got 55 laps of racing left to go. So I'll have a quick drink of water, but I'll be back in a second. Right, we've got now Lando Norris. So Norris, in fact, having more pace than Piastri. We can see that. It's pretty clear, even though he did have DRS on the previous lap. he was able to catch up to Leclerc, which Piastri couldn't do. Piastri dropped off the back of Leclerc. So the McLaren looking pretty quick there in the hands of Lando Norris. And Piastri now, he's in fact under pressure from Russell rather than trying to keep up with his teammates. So Piastri is looking behind him and Lando Norris is looking ahead. But to be fair, once again, it is Piastri's rookie season. He's still got a lot to learn. So we'll keep an eye on him and we'll see how the McLarens fare. But Lando Norris has got DRS and he will be gaining on Charles Leclerc. We'll have to wait and see. Are they going to go onto battery recover mode, save the tyres and try and extend this stint out, or are they going to go maximum attack? I would definitely love to see the latter option, but you know, the strategists have a mind of their own, and they're definitely not there to make the race exciting. They're there to maximize what position they finish in. And yeah, we can see this Lando Norris recharging his battery, whereas Oscar Piastri isn't. So yeah, Lando Norris, he's recharging his battery, and look at that, dropped out of DRS of Charles Leclerc. So yeah, a little bit of battery recharge, and we see those drivers drop off the back. Why can't Sainz close the gap to Stroll? No idea, really. I mean, I don't know how many laps he's had to do that, but they're on hard tyres, so pushing a little bit more difficult. And of course, I think he's got to pay attention to his tyre temperatures as well. We've got Kevin Magnussen into pits onto the hard tyres on lap 6 now. If he can do 53 laps on a set of hards, that would be incredible, but I suspect he had a very big lockup going into turn number 11, and that was a flat spot worthy enough to come into the pits because the vibrations would damage the car totally. Yeah, it looks like we will be getting drivers saving tyres here, at least until track temperature drop down. It's currently 33 degrees. As the night progresses, it will get lower and lower, and then we could get a little bit less tyre conservation going on. All right, Norris, once again, he's catched up to the back of Leclerc. So his battery has been recharged, and he'll be looking to attack Leclerc. We'll wait and see what happens of it. But Piastri, though, he's getting dangerously close to losing DRS to his teammates. So that will leave him vulnerable to being attacked from George Russell. Okie dokes. Also, track limits at turn number 1 and at turn number 16 are going to be monitored today. And we had quite a few deletions at turn number 16 yesterday, but I suspect we'll be getting more at turn number 1. And in fact, we have got one. Daniel Ricciardo exceeded track limits 2 laps ago at turn number 1. And of course, it'll be the typical Rule 3 extensions, and then you will get a black and white flag. All right, George Russell here on the attack on Oscar Piastri. He looks to the inside, getting in his mirrors, trying to put him under a little bit of pressure here is George Russell. And yeah, I mean, of course, he's got the DRS. Oscar Piastri hasn't because he dropped too far back off his teammate. And now he is under threat from George Russell. Piastri on the inside line, Russell on the outside line. Piastri pushing him all the way to as wide as possible. Russell tries to swoop round the outside, and it is dirty on that part of the circuit. He loses grip, and Piastri retakes the lead, defending from the inside line, forcing Russell to go round the outside where the track was dirty. Very nice defensive driving there from Oscar Piastri. A brilliant thought process, and that's mean he's been able to hang on to 4th position once more. All right, Daniel Ricciardo has just been told over the radio they could have got a driver tear off, so a helmet tear off, stuck in one of their brake ducts. They're going to keep him updated on what's going to happen there. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo with potentially overheating brakes. And there we go, Daniel Ricciardo into the pits. They will be clearing out those brake ducts out of any sort of tear off plastic before they go out racing again. I suspect they'll put on a set of hard tyres and try to go to the end of this race, or hope for a safety car at least. They go for a safety car, and it looks like they must have cleared out whatever was stuck in the tear-offs. I mean, this is the thing. So tear-offs basically, because this race it sort of starts at sunset and it's still quite bright outside, and then they switch over to the floodlights. The drivers have, the floodlights are extremely bright and they don't want the floodlights going through into their eyes. They don't want the glare. But then if they have the same visor for the nighttime as the day, they can't see anything in the day. So they have to have multiple layers in their on their visor to say, okay, well, I want this visor for this section and whatnot, and you tear it off basically, and then you throw it out, and hopefully you hope it doesn't get stuck in your own brake duct. But the thing is, it can definitely get stuck in a driver behind you. So yeah, not ideal there. All right. Um, Okie dokes. Yeah, now the DRS train has significantly broken up here, and we've got Lando Norris, who's just got DRS back on Leclerc, but I suspect this is what's going to happen. They're going to stay around the 1 second mark and not actually get any closer, because the drivers have very much gone into tyre conservation mode at this point in time. Yeah. All right, we're having a little bit of a battle here between Pierre Gasly and Sergio Perez. Perez looks to the inside, tries to make a move. Gasly, though, goes around the outside and holds off Perez for that one attempt. And oh, we've got this George Russell going around the outside of Oscar Piastri. He tries again. Can he do it? No, he cannot. Oscar Piastri, once again, brilliant defensive driving. Fantastic job there from the rookie. Yeah, the dirty track turned into Russell. Um, yeah, George Russell not going to be pleased about that. And of course, when you do go out onto the dirty track, you pick up those marbles and you lose a little bit of time in the following sector as well, which is not ideal there for George Russell. All right. A couple more lap time deletions at turn number 1 here. Oh, we've got a couple at turn number 7, interestingly enough. Sargent and Sainz have exceeded track limits. Sargent at turn number 7 and Sainz at turn number 1. Thoughts on Theo winning F2? I mean, I haven't been too focused on the F2. I don't really watch it that much, but Theo Porcher doing a. I mean, it'd be great to see him in Formula One, and the same could be said for Vesti as well. But seats are pretty limited. Uh, right. Also, guys, if we do look at, if we go by the current standings, Ferrari will overtake Mercedes in the constructors, and they'll get an extra 12 million in prize money. So George Russell has to get a move on, overtake both the McLarens, and then get ahead of Leclerc as well if he wants any chance of keeping that extra prize money for Mercedes. With Lewis Hamilton stuck in 10th position, he's going to have to gain some places as well, but they've got a nice DRS train formed, which means Perez can't overtake Gasly, Gasly can't overtake Alonso, Hamilton can't overtake Perez. They're all stuck in position, just getting DRS off each other. And that's probably why Sainz can't catch up. Sainz can't catch up to Lance Stroll because Stroll's got DRS and he's gaining a free 3/4 of a second every single lap, by just being at the right place at the right time, really. All right. Yeah, so we have the possible race strategies: medium tires for 15 laps, and then 2 stints on the hard tires. So yeah, if anyone does want to do a 2-stop, they will be pitting in the next couple of laps. But I suspect it will be a 1-stop, given that it takes 22 seconds to drive through the pit lane and do a pit stop. All right, they've just come over the radio to Oscar Piastri saying he's doing a brilliant job. He's defending well. His tyre management is brilliant. And now he once again, he's a little bit of a lock up there against George Russell, and he's got the inside line, but this time Russell's so much closer than he was before. He's going to have DRS once again. Now this is going to be the toughest and tallest order for Oscar Piastri to defend. Here he goes into turn number 9, and George Russell just swoops around the outside. There is nothing he can do. That one lockup has cost him dearly, and he has now lost that position to George Russell. He will have a chance to re-overtake him if he can stay within DRS range, but it will be pretty tough through this next sector. Let's keep an eye on him, though. And now with these two squabbling, Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso have now caught up, and it will be Piastri will have to keep an eye behind him as well, because if there's too much squabbling between Piastri and Russell, then Tsunoda and Alonso are going to show up to the scene, and there'll be four drivers fighting for fourth position rather than just two. All right, I'm gonna have a quick drink of water. Yeah, Piastri already out of DRS range against Russell. So Russell definitely has the faster car and is the faster driver in these conditions. But um, but yeah, that's it really. Yeah, Verstappen actually isn't flying away. So 1.4 seconds is the gap between Leclerc and Verstappen. And what was I going to say? Um, What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So Verstappen doing tire management. He's come over the radio saying his right front tire is getting more and more damaged, um, because we've only got a couple of high speed corners on this circuit, and and they're all um, well, turn number 9 and turn number 3 really. They're both right handers. They're both left handers. Sorry. So um, your right front tire gets damaged, and yeah, Max Verstappen coming over the radio saying his tire's getting damaged. And look at this, Leclerc, in fact, getting closer. So the team's doing a bit of tire management there. I'm sure if Leclerc catches up, Verstappen will just press the overtake button and get ahead. Um, yeah. All right. Um, Oh, we've got Fernando Alonso pulling into the pit lane. It looks like we're going to have a two-stop for Fernando Alonso. Interesting strategy call there. I mean, maybe he's betting on a safety car, and then his second stop will take less than usual time. But Fernando Alonso into the pits now, and a pretty quick pit stop from the Aston Martin team. 3 seconds flat, and he is coming out of the pits now. But yeah, a bit of clean air as well that will help him out in his race, because of course being stuck in a DRS train is not doing any favors for your engine temperatures, your tire temperatures, or anything like that. So DRS and some clean air, no, not DRS, sorry, just some clean air will be helping Fernando Alonso. All right. Let's have a look then. Lap number 13 of 58, and we've got Lewis Hamilton chasing down Pierre Gasly. Perez has overtook Gasly a couple of laps ago, so he's now up into seventh position. He's going to be chasing down Yuki Tsunoda. Um, yeah, Sonoda looking good, and well, the task for AlphaTauri today is to score enough points to score 7 more points than Williams, so they can get seventh place in the constructors and get an extra 9 million in prize money. So Williams and Daniel Ricciardo, all of them out of the points as of now. And Yuki Tsunoda has just overtaken Piastri. Piastri coming into the pit as well. It looks like a two-stopper for Piastri. Um, yeah, interesting call. I mean, I wasn't expecting a two-stopper, but yeah. So if no, Sonoda currently now, as he is in fifth position, that will be, what is it, 25, 18, 15, 12, and 10. Yeah, he'll be able to score the points for AlphaTauri to outscore Williams, but of course, Piastri has just pit, and there are a couple of other drivers that have pit as well. So yeah, Piastri. If Sonoda can score 7 points without the Williams team scoring any, then they will get through into well, yeah, they'll get an extra 9 million in prize money. Okay, so look at this. Daniel Ricciardo, fastest lap of the race. And that's how you know you got tyre management. Daniel Ricciardo on a set of hard tyres is going 2 tenths of a second faster than Max. Oh no, 6 tenths of a second faster than Max Verstappen. So yeah, some serious pace there. And Fernando Alonso as well, fastest first sector. He's got now DRS on Oscar Piastri, so that's some serious pace there from Fernando Alonso. Can he get past him into turn number 9? No, he cannot. Piastri once again doing doing the exact same defense that he did against George Russell. He is now defending the exact same way against Fernando Alonso. We'll see what Fernando Alonso can do. You know, Fernando Alonso got much more experience in a Formula One car. Is he going to try some tricks against the rookie to, yeah, to do well, to get that overtake done? All right, we've got Lando Norris with a 5.1 second pit stop. Very, very unfortunate there. George Russell with a 2.9 second pit stop and jumping Lando Norris in the pit lane. So a slow pit stop there has cost Lando Norris a position, and he's coming out right behind George Russell instead of right ahead of him, which is not ideal whatsoever. It's going to be easy for him to make that overtake because he is right ahead of George Russell. Right behind, sorry, and DRS, he will get DRS, and here he is. In fact, let's see. We've got Russell, then Norris, and Piastri, then Alonso. All four drivers have all done their pit stops, and now they're all going to be trying for fighting for net position in this race. So here comes now. We've got Lewis Hamilton. He's trying to overtake Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, sorry, and he is unable to do so. And just a little bit further back, we've got now George Russell. He's under pressure from Lando Norris, but his saving grace is that he's got DRS off Logan Sargent. Hamilton's come over the radio saying, I've just damaged my front wing. He's just locked up ahead of me. Looking at Hamilton's front wing, it is very slightly damaged. It's kind of hanging off on the edge. Like, yeah, it's hanging a little bit off to the left. It's not great. Yeah. Good morning, Multi Ninja. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Long time no see. My theory that Tsunoda will go for 6 points plus fastest lap like he did in Kota. Yeah. If they can win. Yeah, the thing is they have to score 8 points, not 7, because if they score 7, they'll tie. And then it depends on, I think, the highest position that they finished in, which I think AlphaTauri might win. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah. All right. Also, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, then be sure to hit the like button. It definitely does help out the channel. And if you aren't subscribed already, then be sure to do so. I will be commentating for every single race next year. And yeah, we've got 4,000 people watching the stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. Yeah. All right. And Logan Sargent into the pits. And we've got George Russell now, who has got no driver ahead of him to get DRS off. So he's now going to be under... Oh, no, sorry, he's got Alex Albon. And he gets a pretty straightforward overtake done on Alex Albon. I'm sure Albon will be coming into the pits shortly as well, considering Sargent pitted on the previous lap. And Verstappen into the pits as well. All right. So Leclerc continuing. And Verstappen will be going for the undercut. I don't know when Ferrari are going to come into the pits. But yeah. All right. We've got Lewis Hamilton under a whole bunch of pressure here from Esteban Ocon as they come out of the pit lane. They're both right next to each other and very, very close indeed. So Esteban Ocon now, he's going to be looking to make that overtake. Yeah, Hamilton has got no one ahead of him for DRS. So this is going to be Ocon's one opportunity to get that overtake done. Very well, thank you. Hope you're doing well. I've missed a few now. I've been busy. Fair enough, mate. We've got a lot of stuff going on in our lives. Yeah, I mean, I think it's quite incredible to think like every single person has a life as intricate as your own. Like we've got basically, yeah, like we barely comprehend our own lives, and then there's 8 billion more. Quite interesting to think about, but yeah. All right, lap number 7 of 58. We're approaching the 1/3 mark of this race. And, well, we've had one set of pit stop for most drivers. Is Charles Leclerc going to come into the pits? We'll have to keep an eye on that. And Norris and Russell. Russell's actually pulled a massive gap. He's pulled a 2-second gap to Lando Norris in such a short time, which is quite incredible. And here comes Esteban Ocon so close together against Lewis Hamilton, but unable to be close enough to go around the outside. And oh, is that a slow pit stop there for? Oh no, 2.8. That's a quick pit stop there. Nicely done. But is he going to come out ahead or is he going to come out behind of Max Verstappen? That is what we need to keep an eye on. Sergio Perez into the pits as well. So is Pierre Gasly. So here comes now Charles Leclerc, and there we go. Yes, significantly behind Max Verstappen as they exit the pit lane. So yeah, that strategy has worked out nicely for the Red Bull crew. What does it mean when the driver can undercut? Basically, if you consider, so both drivers have done 17 laps on a set of tyres, and then Max Verstappen, say the driver in second position goes in on lap number 17, and they come out on a fresh set of tyres, but then the second driver is on a used set of tyres. So the pace difference there is quite massive because, of course, the difference between fresh tyres and used tyres. And undercut is basically when a driver pits earlier than another driver to get on a fresh set of tyres, which are quicker, in an attempt to overtake them through a pit stop kind of thing. Yeah. Oh, Yuki is in the lead of this race. Yeah. The only driver on medium tyres who hasn't pit yet. Maybe he's going to try a one stop. I mean, if he can go 25 laps and in on the mediums, he could probably go till the end on the hards. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, the tyres for this weekend are the softest of the Pirelli range, the C1, the C2, and the C3. So, yeah, if those tyres can last, then that would be incredible. All right, George Russell with the fastest lap of the race. Some serious pace there. I mean, wow. And he's now catching up to the back of Leclerc. We'll wait and see what he can do. But I don't know if George Russell was forecast a podium today, but he's definitely turning that forecast into a reality. He's now going to be, he's chasing, well, he's ahead of Norris, which means he's in the third place spot, in a net third place. But, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. All right. Carlos Sainz now under pressure from Verstappen. Is he going to defend and try and let Leclerc catch up? No, he is not. There's really not much he can do. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he does. Because I mean, I would have told. If I was Ferrari, I would have told him over the radio, hold him up as much as possible. We need Leclerc to make an overtake. But you know, Carlos Sainz did nothing of that sort. Didn't even try to hold him up whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, they could have tried that because you know why not? All right. All right. Yuki Tsunoda, race leader, of course. I think he's done one full lap now as race leader, which will be, which will be a first for him. And we'll wait and see what happens. He's got track limit deletions at turn number 1, and another. Oh, in fact, he's got 3 track limit deletions. Oh my God, Oscar. Oh no, sorry, he only got 2. He's got one at turn number 16 and then one at turn number 1. But yeah, he's got to keep an eye on that. Otherwise, he will get a penalty. All right, Sergio Perez with the fastest lap of the race, and let's wait and see what can happen. Of course. Right, let's see. We've got Oscar Piastri now catching up to the back of Bottas, and then we've got Alonso as well. Now he's catching up. Let's see what happens there, but yeah, Bottas not fighting it too much. There's no need really. And Perez has overtaken Daniel Ricciardo. Ooh. Apologies there for the yawning, but yeah, straightforward overtake there for Sergio Perez, and here comes Fernando Alonso looking to the inside of Valtteri Bottas, and a nice easy overtake indeed. Right. So now the question is, can Fernando Alonso catch up to, well, can he overtake Oscar Piastri? The gap between them is 0.6 of a second. Piastri has no DRS. There were a couple of laps ago where they were squabbling away, and Piastri pulled off another brilliant defensive maneuver. But we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. I'm going to have a quick drink of water. And yeah, you guys also remember to stay hydrated. Yeah, lap number 21 of 58. We've got Verstappen. Oh, no, not Verstappen. We've got Tsunoda, 4.5 seconds in the lead. But Verstappen is still the net race leader. There we go. Yeah, the Ferraris have swapped positions. They're on two separate strategies. There's no need to hold each other up. And then we've got Max Verstappen just down the inside of Lance Stroll. There's no need to fight it for Stroll. He might as well not lose as much time as he can. Track frozen out. I think it's fine now. Yeah. Okie dokes. All right. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in, by the way. How many people have we got watching? Let's have a look. We have got 4,500. That is incredible. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you for streaming up. I'm very much to appreciate. Did you get the sponsorship? No, I haven't heard much of a reply really. Yeah, I mean I'll follow up, but yeah, I mean it's for 2024 either way, so still got a lot of time to figure that out. Okie dokes. George Russell, in fact, has just overtaken Carlos Sainz there. I mean, of course, they're on separate strategies. Carlos Sainz starting the race on the hard tyres, George Russell starting it on the mediums. We'll wait and see what happens between those two. Oh, it's frozen again. Guys, I'm just gonna give a quick refresh of the data. It will pause for a second. It'll be back in 30 seconds, but yeah, the data will come back in 30 seconds. It'll be frozen for 30 seconds, but you know, it'll stop being laggy. So just bear with me. What's the sponsorship? The sponsorship F1 TV. F1 TV, yeah. All right. Yuki Tsunoda comes in now, lap number 23 of 58. So now the question is, can he go another 40, is it, no, 30, 35 laps on a set of hard tyres? He's trying for the one stop. Everyone else has not been able to pull it off. Yeah. All right. So that is, yeah, so the data's refreshed. There we go. Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Well, thank you for asking. I'm doing all right, not too bad. How about you guys? Yeah, hope you guys are doing well. I mean, there's not really much for me to add. I've kind of woken up, just prepared for the stream, and not done that much else. Okie dokes. We have now got what have we got going on? Fernando Alonso, he's not been able to actually get ahead of Oscar Piastri, or even put any sort of threat of making an overtake here. Yeah, it hasn't really been ideal for Fernando Alonso. He did have one attempt earlier, but yeah, Oscar Piastri defended very nicely, and there was nothing Alonso could really do. And since then, Alonso just hasn't had another chance. All right. There we go. We have got now Carlos Sainz coming into the bit. It's very interesting. Only 23 laps on those medium tyres. So maybe he's going for a... what tyres did he come out on, in fact? Is he out on a set of mediums or is he out on a set of hards? He's out on a set of hard tyres. So they're going for a two-stop strategy down at Ferrari, going two stints of on the hards and then one stint on the mediums. Yeah. Is the sun going down now? Indeed it is. It is very much on the horizon. The floodlights are on. And yeah. All right. Look at this. Everyone is out on the hard tyres. The only driver that hasn't come into the pits yet is Valtteri Bottas. He started the race on the hards. But yeah, everyone is on the hard tyres. Okie dokes. Um, yeah, Fernando Alonso, in fact, he was looking ahead, trying to overtake Oscar Piastri, but now he is under pressure from Sergio Perez. He's got to look ahead, look forward, and look backwards. And it's not looking, well, it's not great, really. And also, just looking at the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes have, if it stays as it is now, then Mercedes will just be able to hang on to that second position ahead of the Ferraris because Carlos Sainz down in 16th position, whereas Hamilton is up in ninth. So, yeah, George Russell and Mercedes looking to get that extra prize money, and of course, Ferrari looking to do the exact same. Ferrari, of course, with a disadvantage of 4 less points than Mercedes, and they're going to have to gain those 4 extra points. Mercedes just have to defend. Yeah. All right. And we've got Sergio Perez just dives down the inside of Fernando Alonso, and Alonso just doesn't even fight it. No fight whatsoever from Fernando Alonso. Not something we see particularly often, but of course there must be a bigger strategy behind that, looking to save time overall in the race. Or maybe he knows there's no point fighting Sergio Perez. He's going to get past at some point. Might as well let him squabble with Piastri instead and hopefully catch up then. By the way, guys, Gasly has got damage. Gasly and Hamilton collided. Gasly locked up, and Hamilton kind of drove into the back. Well, drove into the back of him because of the lockup. If he didn't lock up, then they would have been fine. But yeah, Gasly got a bit of rear floor damage there. Lewis Hamilton got front wing damage, but he was going to come into the pits anyway, so they got that repaired up quickly. Yeah. How many points do Ferrari need at the moment to get second constructors? They need 4 more points than Mercedes this race. So you'll have to calculate it yourself. But yeah, currently as it stands, Ferrari will get 18 points this weekend, and Mercedes will get 17. So they only outscore them by 2, which is not enough. Yeah. Right. Last race of the season, there's 3 teams in the top 3. Yeah. I mean, it's 4 teams in the top 4, you know? Um, they are quite admittedly spread apart. We've got Verstappen, who was, in fact, only a second and a half ahead of Leclerc in the first stint, has now extended that gap to 5.5 seconds, which is, typical Verstappen behavior, you know? There's not much else to add. Isn't Audi joining F1 in 2026? I don't know. I haven't heard much of it, really. Yeah. They've just come over the radio to Lewis Hamilton saying that he's the fastest driver on the circuit, and he's not, because Sonoda was faster than him on the... Oh, no. Norris was faster than him on the previous lap. But, yeah, very, very close to being fastest on the circuit. All right. Lance Stroll with the fastest lap of the race. Lance Stroll on his previous lap was 4/10 of a second faster than Max Verstappen. So yeah, that's some serious tire conservation there from Red Bull. No, Ferrari can equal Mercedes points in a win and win on countback because of Sainz's P1 in Singapore. Okay, win on the count. Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, so they can equal them as well. They don't need to score 5 points; they can score 4, because Mercedes haven't won a race and Ferrari have. Yeah, he isn't strolling; he's sprinting. Well, fair enough. Nice pun there. How many points does Leclerc need for 4th in the Drivers' Championship? Leclerc's way far off. I think 4th position. in the drivers. So in the drivers, Leclerc is 188 points, but Carlos Sainz is on 200 points, and Fernando Alonso is on 200 as well, and Lando Norris is on 195. So three drivers look battling away for uh, fourth position in the drivers, and of course Carlos and Fernando tied on 200 points. I don't know how much the drivers really care about, if they're not winning the winning the thing. I don't know how much they particularly care about getting second place or getting third place. But yeah, Carlos Sainz right now not in the points. Fernando Alonso is, and Lando Norris even scoring even more points than Fernando Alonso. So yeah, Lando Norris will get the fourth place if it stays as it is. And Sergio Perez has now overtaken Piastri. Ooh. And Alonso has dropped 2.5 seconds back. Wow, 2.5 seconds from Fernando Alonso. I was not expecting that, but of course Aston Martin has not been as quick as they were at the start of the season. So fair enough. All right, I'm going to have a quick drink of water. We're approaching the halfway point now of the Grand Prix, and we have Max Verstappen 6 seconds in the lead of the race, with Leclerc in second, Russell in third, and Lando Norris in fourth. Leclerc is 12 points behind Sainz and Alonso. Yes, that is true, but Lando Norris also needs to have a fair bit of bad luck. Actually, if it stays this way, Leclerc will actually win. No, Leclerc will get 18 points, and Lando Norris will get. Oh no, Norris will get 12, and then Leclerc will fall 1 point short. But yeah, Norris in fourth place. That'll be the factor that stops Leclerc from getting fourth. We'll have to wait and see. Let me have a wild guess that Max will win. Actually, I thought it was Logan Sargent, to be fair. Logan Sargent, unfortunately. Unfortunately, he's second to last instead of being in second position. I was expecting him to win. Of course, I bet like my entire life saving on Logan Sargent winning this race. Because that's what a reasonable person would do, Yeah. Right. Lap number 30 of 58. Ooh, we've hit 1,800 likes. Thank you everyone for hitting the like button and tuning in fact. It has been brilliant commentating to you guys. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the coverage. And yeah, be sure to subscribe as well. Okie dokes. All right, we've got Valtteri Bottas coming into the pit lane after doing 30 laps on the hard tyres. Now, is he going to come out on a set of medium? Well, I suspect he will, but the question is, how bad are his tyres going to wear out by the time he gets to the end of the race? Because it is going to be extremely tough indeed. Right. Yeah, not that much going on the circuit, to be fair. Everyone kind of just spread out. Oh, we've got a little bit of lag. Hopefully that just goes away. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think of the race so far. I mean, it's not been... Well, we had quite a lot of action at the start, to be fair. It hasn't been totally boring or anything like that. But right now we've reached the halfway point and everyone's kind of doing tyre conservation. So, Yeah, and quite a lot of track limit deletions here. In fact, just looking at the race control feed, Leclerc, Magnussen, Verstappen, Sainz, all of them have exceeded track limits at least once in the past couple of laps. And yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But I think the teams will be telling the right drivers not to exceed track limits anymore. Okie dokes. Oh, we got Ocon now. He's caught up to the back of Ricardo. Could have a little bit of a battle there. All right. We do have a couple of drivers potentially trying out a one stop. But as of now, most drivers are on two stops. And yeah. The FIA should have called up Latifi for this Grand Prix for all time's sake to make the race spicy. Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this yesterday, but every time I see the drivers go past turn number 14, I just get flashbacks, you know? Flashbacks, Latifi loses the rear, absolute chaos after behind the safety car between Verstappen and Hamilton. And I think that race will make this circuit like kind of legendary. You know, anytime anyone thinks of Abu Dhabi, that they'll think of this. So yeah, would the extra 12 million of prize money do a lot for the car? Well, considering they've got a cost cap, I mean, I'm sure a portion of it will just go to profits. But you know, it means Lewis Hamilton gets a bigger paycheck because the money. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the driver's salary isn't included in the cost cap. Otherwise, Lewis Hamilton's salary would take up a pretty big portion of it. So Hamilton, I'm sure, will get some sort of bonus out of that. Yeah. All right. We've got Carlos Sainz. A little bit of a lock-up here. I mean, yeah, all the drivers struggling now. Track temperature dropped to 31 degrees, air temperature 26 degrees. It is nighttime now. But of course, being in a desert, it doesn't get all that cold. I mean, sometimes it does get very cold, but I'm sure that Abu Dhabi is in a quite a built-up area, so temperatures won't drop as much as they usually do. Okie dokie. Yes, Abu Dhabi 2021 when Sonoda got P4 and nothing else interesting happened. Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate summary of that race. They can spend what they want on R&D. No, they definitely can't spend what they want on R&D because R&D is what makes the car go faster. So you have to put a limit on that. Yeah. Right. Right, there we go. Pierre Gasly for his second pit stop. We've got 26 laps left, and he's done only 15 laps on his first set of mediums. And now he comes out for another set, which is interesting, but yeah. And just more track limit deletions. We've got Piastri, Ricardo, Norris, Stroll exceeding track limits at turn 1, turn 12, turn 16. So, yeah. It would be great to have Max winning 7 World Championships. Lewis coming back in F1, having another one last race battle. Yeah. Max is pulling away, I assume, for an overcut. No, Max is just pulling away because he can. There's no overcut or any strategy. Just straight up pace there from Max Verstappen. Right, we got Lando Norris into the pit lane with 25 laps left to go. I guess he can put in another set of hard tyres and go to the end. That would make sense. And they have done exactly that. A fresh set of hards for Lando Norris. He squeals his tyres as he gets out of the pits. 2.3 second pit stop, very quick from the McLaren crew. And he will be, well, looking to secure that fourth place and potentially catch up to Russell. But Russell's pace looks kind of untouchable this today. And he's definitely on a way for a podium. Oh, look at that. Alonso track limit extension at turn number 1. We're getting quite a lot of track limit extensions here. Thankfully, the cost tab doesn't include driver-related costs as Ferrari would overspend. With therapy bills of Leclerc. Yeah. I mean, also the catering as well. I mean, the catering costs for drivers and for the teams, they're just ridiculous, totally. Um, yeah, I mean, if you guys remember that fiasco, then it's quite entertaining to hear all of the perspectives on that. Is Perez on a one or a two stop strategy? Perez is on a two stop. He will not be able to go to the end of the race on those set of tyres. Russell over the radio saying, "Are you sure we can't make a one stop work? The tyres feel reasonable." And then the team told him over the radio, "There's 24 laps left to go. We don't think it's going to happen." So George Russell pulls into the pit lane and puts on another set of hard tyres. How is Hamilton so far ahead of everyone bar Red Bull in championship points? I think it's because Hamilton was consistent through the mid-season, where Aston Martin kind of had a little bit of a lull. Ferrari were still finding their feet, and McLaren was still obviously kind of terrible, and they were once again just making their way back through the pack. So Mercedes was second best at that point, and I would say that's probably been the most boring part of the season, the mid-season. Where we did have Verstappen dominating, and then there was literally no one else to compete because Ferrari hadn't sorted out their setup and didn't have quite a few major upgrades on their car. McLaren were nowhere to be seen. Aston Martin had fell off, and Mercedes were just kind of there, not improving, not getting worse. So that's how Lewis Hamilton's got so many points. They've in fact just come over the radio to George Russell saying this outlap will be critical, and he is behind Lando Norris. Oh no, sorry, just ahead of Lando Norris, and Lando Norris is going to be trying to overtake him because this is for the third position spot on the podium. So Norris said before the race getting a podium would be fantastic. There is a podium on the cards here. He's only half a second behind George Russell, but the issue is Russell's got DRS on Lance Stroll ahead of him. So when Russell eventually does overtake Stroll, he'll have to make sure that he overtakes him as well, because otherwise Russell will run away and it will be extremely difficult to catch up. And look at that, Lando Norris, two purple sectors, purple first sector, purple second sector, and he is pushing to the absolute limit here, because this is going to be probably one of the only chances he's got to try and catch up to George Russell. We got Hamilton pulling into the pits now. He drops down from 9th position. He'll probably come out in 13th or 14th. Yeah. All right, so here we go then. Lance Stroll once again staying out, and he's going to be under pressure from George Russell, and Lando Norris is now putting pressure on George Russell as well. So let's wait and see what happens. So Russell has got a nice bit of DRS here off Stroll, easy overtake. There's nothing Stroll can really do, and now it's Lando Norris's job to get the overtake done on the very next corner. So here they are going through the chicane. And Norris gets a good exit on the tail of Lance Stroll. He's going to have DRS, and it is critical, absolutely critical. He's going to be deploying all of his battery here to try and get ahead here of Lance Stroll, but there is nothing he can do. The pace just does not materialize. And it looks like Lance Stroll deployed some of his battery or something, and Stroll is now defending. He's not defending, but he's ahead of Norris, and Norris is going to have to wait till the next lap to get past, and by that point Russell will run away with this. Gap already 1 second ahead of Lance Stroll, so we'll have to wait and see. Perez said he can fight for the title in 2024. It'll be totally, I'm sure he will. All right, we've got Oscar Piastri 2.2 seconds there for his pit stop, and we've got Fernando Alonso coming into the pits as well. Red Bull are pushing. As you can see, the top three, all of them have got green. Their last laps were green, so they've all improved on their personal best, which means they're pushing on their hard tyres, which means they're going to be coming into the pit soon. All right. Fernando Alonso gets overtaken by Lewis Hamilton, and Alonso does not put up a fight. I think Alonso's kind of, a bit demoralized here. He knows his car isn't that quick. He's going to try and get the switchback move But yeah, the pace difference is a little bit too big there. If he's got DRS, and Hamilton, in fact, weaving around a little bit, trying to stop Alonso from getting past him, and he does so quite easily. All right, now Norris has overtaken Lance Stroll here, so now he is 2.5 seconds behind George Russell, and this is what the problem was because he didn't get that overtake done immediately. Russell had that extra 1 lap window to pull out that 2.5 second gap. And now Norris is going to have a very tough time closing that up. If maybe he even won't be able to do it. We'll have to just wait and see. And in fact, Russell now catching up to the back of Charles Leclerc. Alonso's just come over the radio saying we have the slowest car on the straight by far. Yeah, I mean, Alonso, he speaks his mind, and that probably is true as well. I haven't got the speed trap data just up yet, but considering that Alonso was slipstreaming Hamilton and had DRS, there was just no pace difference whatsoever. Right. Let's see what else is going on the circuit. Right, Leclerc overtakes Tsunoda. Now Russell trying to overtake Tsunoda. So this is the thing: if Russell can overtake Tsunoda, then he can try catch up to Leclerc. But yeah, the gap between those two drivers is pretty close. And of course, Leclerc in net second position, and Russell is in net third position after Perez does his pit stops, or maybe Perez won't actually. Perez is very good at time management, but it'll be a very tall order to go that long. Hamilton comes over the radio saying he brake tested me. Interesting. Interesting there. Alonso brake tested Hamilton. That's what he said over the radio. And by the looks of it, Alonso did come off the throttle. And Hamilton's front wing seemed to be very slightly damaged. I'm not 100% certain. I have to get a replay on that. Yeah. Oh, your light counter says, yeah, my light counter will fix itself. It's been a bit weird. Driving erratically, that has been noted, and I don't know if they're going to continue investigating. But yeah, as Carlos Sainz now up into 9th position, and Hamilton is down in 12th, Ferrari will get second place in the Constructors' Championship if it stays this way. I mean, this is interesting. I would love to get a replay. Alonso lost a gear, it seemed to me. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they'll look at it after the race. Yeah, they'll have to get the telemetry information and be like, if he's lost a gear, I'm sure Aston Martin will be asked about it, and then if they have some sort of mechanical issue, then it'll be fair enough. But yeah, if Alonso's just come off the throttle and onto the brakes, yeah, there'll be some sort of penalty dished out. We got Esteban Ocon got overtaken by 2 cars in 1 corner on the previous lap, going through the chicane at turn number 6. Yeah, Alonso has pulled a gap. I think that's because Hamilton has a slightly damaged front wing. It was hanging like a little bit lower, but maybe that was just my eyes playing tricks on me. I haven't got another shot to go back and check. Please share average pit stop time. I haven't got the exact number, but they've all been around about 2 and probably 3 seconds is probably the average. Yeah, because we had a couple of drivers coming in to change their front wings, and then Lando Norris had a slow pit stop as well. All right. Let's see. Oscar Piastri's got the fastest lap of the race. Very interesting here. Yeah. Thoughts on the 24-hour Nürburgring? Nürburgring is quite incredible. Yeah, just what a circuit, really. And racing for 24 hours, it's very, very interesting. It's such a totally different sport to Formula One, like endurance racing, which is obviously very clear. But you'd think car racing is closer, but the cars are designed in completely a different manner. They're designed to be repaired extremely quickly. They're designed to last as long as possible. Um, oh, no further investigation between Alonso and Hamilton there. That's what they've said over the radio. So, not over the radio, over race control. So, yeah, I suppose there was some sort of mechanical issue. Who knows? You think Yuki will pull off a one stop? Well, Yuki currently in fifth position, 18 laps on those set of tyres. He's got another 17 laps left to go. Pirelli said he could do it, and we've definitely seen drivers extend Pirelli's expectations by over 10%. So I think Yuki Tsunoda stands with a chance to do a one stop. The question is whether that one stop will be a good one stop. Because if you look at the 4 or 5 drivers behind Yuki Tsunoda, they can definitely catch up in a couple of laps time if Tsunoda's pace drops off, and then he'll drop out the points and it'll be totally pointless to do a one stop. Yeah. Oh, we've got 48 subscribers away from the subscriber target, and we are 13 likes away from the like target. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, guys. Very much do appreciate everyone tuning in. Right, Ferrari have just come over the radio saying we're going to go as long as possible, wait for a safety car. Yeah, I'm not sure if the safety car will materialize. Of course, you just need one incident, someone crashing into a barrier, and you got a safety car. But as of now, we've got all 20 drivers still driving around. So, yeah. And there we go. Max Verstappen has just lapped Logan Sargent. So first driver to be lapped of course, Logan Sargent in last place will be the first driver to be lapped. And Fernando Alonso, wow, I mean, very casual overtake there on Esteban Ocon. He was changing some settings on his steering wheel while overtaking Esteban Ocon. Just a very cool overtake there from Fernando Alonso. 2.2 second over pit stop there for Sergio Perez. He comes out of the pits on a fresh set of tyres with 16 laps left. Is it mediums or is it hards? It is hard tyres. And we've hit 1,000 likes. All right. Also, guys, I would like to let you know, Red Bull started off the season with a 1-2 in Bahrain. They haven't had another 1-2 since Bahrain. The entire season round, even though they've been so dominant. And Perez still down in 6th position. So the odds of them getting a 1-2 are slowly reducing, but we'll wait and see. Hamilton makes a nice overtake there on Esteban Ocon. And looking at Hamilton's front wing, it seems to be fine. Is it damaged? No, it looks to be fine. If there is some sort of damage, it's so minuscule that I can't even notice it while he's driving past. So there we are. All right. We've got Max Verstappen pulling into the pit lane. And where is he going to come out? How many ahead of Leclerc, behind Leclerc, ahead of Leclerc, of course. And the top 4 as it stands are Verstappen, then Leclerc, then Russell, and then Norris. Okie dokes. Sergio Perez now catching up to the back of Tsunoda, the first driver. To catch up to Tsunoda now and get ahead of him. Of course, Tsunoda's done his one stop, and now he's got 15 laps left. 15 laps to hang on to as many positions as he can. because, yeah, with those hard tyres now, they are extremely old, and there is no chance that he's really going to be able to get any quick pace out of them. But if he is able to defend, then he will be able to hang on to a couple of positions. So, yeah, that's his task now. Piastri with the fastest lap of the race, fastest first sector. He's on a mission now to catch up to Yuki Tsunoda. We'll wait and see what happens there. But yeah. Is there a reason no one's going for the softs? It is. Yeah, it's because the soft tyres are just not lasting long enough whatsoever. And even with 14 laps left to go, the soft tyres can't do 14. I mean, the medium tyres barely did 14 laps for a couple of drivers. And they were still doing a lot of tyre management there. So maybe they should have went for a different tyre compound. They should have done C2, C3, C4. But yeah, who knows? Verstappen coming over the radio saying his downshifts are pushing a lot, which I'm not sure exactly what that means, but yeah, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. They have like so many settings, over like probably 700 different settings for stuff. I'm not sure about gearbox settings, but diff settings, they have absolutely enormous numbers of diff settings. Yeah. All right, Sergio Perez, that's the fast lap of the race, takes it away from Oscar Piastri. And he's going to be catching up to Lando Norris now. So let's wait and see what he can do. We've got Carlos Sainz now defending against Fernando Alonso. Brilliant defense there. And Alonso very slow down the straight, so it's going to be very tough for him to make an overtake. Yeah. They've just come over the radio to Leclerc saying, just a reminder, you got 2 strikes for track limits. So, of course, yeah, you can't exceed track limits once again, otherwise you will get a black and white flag. Verstappen's now taken away the fastest lap of the race from Perez. And, yeah, 126.9 for him. Half a second faster than anyone so far. Yeah, it was half a second faster. And then Max Verstappen came along and beat that by half a second, which is ridiculous. But yeah, 126.9. I mean, that's why he is the world champion. All right, I'm going to have a quick drink of water. Right, we've got Fernando Alonso has just overtaken Carlos Sainz there, sorry. And now Carlos Sainz looking to attack him back. Yeah. Oh, they've just come over the radio to Max Verstappen saying display 3, position 7 to fix the downshifts. So, yeah, they obviously found a solution rather quickly. And if the positions continue as they are, then Lando Norris will get the 4th place in the Drivers' Championship, and Leclerc will get the 5th, and Alonso will be pushed down into 6th position, and Sainz down into 7th. Both Alonso and Sainz not having great races, they're down in 8th and 9th position, whereas Leclerc and Norris are up in 2nd and 4th. All right, Sergio Perez now count up to the back of Lando Norris. 5/10 is the gap, and here they are coming down the straight. He's got the DRS. The Red Bull is very quick in a straight line. Lando Norris has got no one ahead of him to tow him along. And here, Sergio Perez gaining, looks to the inside, dives down the inside, and tries it. Lando Norris turns in. There is a bit of contact there, wheel-to-wheel banging. Lando Norris just cuts the chicane, and there'll be Perez will be all over the radio now, being like, complaining about that. Lewis Hamilton now trying to overtake Carlos Sainz here, who's currently in 9th position. Sainz doing some nice defending though there. And Norris is still ahead of Sergio Perez, so they're managing to keep that going. And Carlos Sainz gets overtaken round the outside of turn number 9 here by Lewis Hamilton. That is some seriously nice driving there from Lewis Hamilton. Given that Sainz is on older tyres, it is to be expected, the pace difference between those two drivers, but nevertheless a very well executed overtake from both drivers, and Carlos Sainz respectfully leaving space there. Norris came over the radio saying he just crashed into me, and Perez, I'm sure, will come over the radio saying he turned in on me. Yeah, I predicted it. Perez just came over the radio saying he just turned into me. Perez did miss the apex though, by quite a big margin. So I don't know really who's at fault for that. But once again, it's round number 2. Sergio Perez this time to the inside, a bit more clearly here. And does he hit that apex this time? Yes, he does. And Sergio Perez has now got that place. But now there's another straight coming along, and Lando Norris will get the slipstream and the DRS. And here they go now towards turn number 9. We know Sergio Perez can do some brilliant defensive driving going into turn number 9. And Norris tries to go around the outside, but Sergio Perez is having none of it. And here they are now heading towards turn number 10, and where no overtakes are possible. Norris came over the radio now saying that's dangerous driving. He had loads of space. I don't know which overtake he was talking about. I think that must have been the earlier overtake, but because this overtake was pretty clean from him, and both Perez hit the apex, so yeah, he definitely didn't intentionally drive into Norris or anything like that. All right, Oscar Piastri gets a nice overtake done on Yuki Tsunoda. Finally, he's been stuck behind him for quite a while there, and now he is up into 6th position. Both McLarens in 5th and 6th place, while we have Max Verstappen with the fastest lap of the race, leading out 8 seconds in the lead. All right, we've got 10 laps remaining, guys. 10 laps remaining. Okie dokes. Yeah, Leclerc. If it continues like this, Leclerc will get 4th place in the championship because Lando Norris has just lost 4th position to Sergio Perez. Yeah. Yeah, Checo definitely knows how to defend very well on this circuit. Sainz has to hit compound rule. Indeed, he does. And it is not looking good for him. So Ferrari, who would I think they would have outscored Mercedes by 4 points. They probably won't now because they wouldn't have outscored Mercedes by 4 points. Apologies there. But yeah, after Carlos Sainz pits, there's no chance whatsoever. But they're hoping for a safety car. With 9 laps left, it's going to be, I suspect they're just going to wait till the last possible lap and they'll come in for a set of softs. Yeah. Also, guys, do let me know who you think driver of the day is. I don't actually know. Who would I say is driver of the day? I'd say Sergio Perez is a good recovery from 9th up into 4th, but it hasn't been particularly anything exceptional or anything like that. But to be fair, we haven't had that many exceptional performances of this race. No one doing anything totally ridiculous. Piastri's done a solid job defending though against George Russell a couple of laps ago. Well, no, sorry, not a couple of laps ago at the start of this race. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who is driver of the day? Lance Stroll now overtaking Esteban Ocon down the straight. Got a nice bit of DRS there, and even though Aston Martin very slow down the straights, he still managed to get pull off that maneuver. And now Esteban Ocon will look to re-overtake him. But yeah, I think Gasly is too far back to get that move done. Yes, he is. Actually, Fernando's tied with Charles on the points run. Fernando still has a good shot of... Ooh, is he? Right. Leclerc is just... just said an entire paragraph over the radio. Let me know the gap between Perez and Russell. Um, this is interesting. Perez. Okay, so as Mercedes and Ferrari. Charles Leclerc. My God, how he has thought of this strategy while driving around at 200 miles an hour is beyond me. But basically, George Russell is in third position, and because he's in third position, they will. Mercedes will get second place in the constructors and get an extra £10 million of prize money, or £12 million of prize money, or $12 million or something like that. Effectively, they'll get a lot of extra money for finishing in second rather than third. And Ferrari are currently in third. But if Russell finishes in fourth and Perez finishes in third, Ferrari get the Constructors' Championship bonus and they get the extra 12 million. So Charles Leclerc over the radio has said, if the gap between Russell and Perez isn't too big, I will back everyone up. I'll back Russell up into Perez. Yeah. Oh no, Sergio Perez has just been given a 5 second time penalty. So even backing him up is not going to work. Why has he been given a 5 second time penalty for causing a collision? What are the stewards doing? Right, honestly, stewards, they big L. The Abu Dhabi stewards, they are not based, and honestly, I don't know what they're doing, because the overtake there between Perez and Norris, it was he just braked a little bit too late. There was no dangerous driving or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, there was a bit of wheel banging at Max, but that happens so often, and he's been given a 5 second penalty. And they've just said, why have they given a penalty? I was ahead. Yeah, honestly, collision with Norris, and it wasn't even it wasn't a major collision. It wasn't dangerous driving or anything. Honestly, the stewards, they've just robbed us of a really good race here, because Leclerc would have backed Russell up into Perez, and that would have been brilliant to watch. But honestly, the stewards here, LFIA, mate, LFIA 100%. Yeah. Also, guys, we're 13 subscribers away from the subscriber target, so if you are enjoying the coverage, then be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Okie dokes. And AlphaTauri as well. They're in seventh position. Sonoda's in seventh position, and he's going to get 6 points for that. And they need 7 points to finish ahead of Williams. They are 1 point short. And if they pit Yuki Tsunoda, then he will, he'll fall way too far back to get a fastest lap. So Daniel Ricciardo, if AlphaTauri are to get that seventh place, then they're going to have to catch up. Well, if Daniel Ricciardo is to get into the points, he's going to have to catch up 8 seconds to Carlos Sainz, which is not going to happen in 6 laps. Perez is catching up to Russell anyway. Yeah, I mean, Perez is catching up, but he's not going to be able to pull a 5 second gap in 6 laps. The pace difference is not that big. Yeah. Oh, I mean, F1, come on. That is disappointing. I expected better. Because that's now basically a guaranteed extra £12 million for Mercedes. Because now Perez has got that 5 second penalty. Frankly, ridiculous. What if he takes Russell out? Oh my God, big brain strategy indeed. Yeah. Yuki's tires are gone. Well, let's have a look at Yuki's pace. His previous lap, a 129.4. Everyone else around him, a 128.7. There is a solid 0.7 of a second gap between Yuki Tsunoda's pace and Fernando Alonso's pace. With only 5 laps left to go, though, he's going to give his absolute all to defend against Fernando Alonso. And given Fernando Alonso hasn't got a quick start car in a straight line, he might actually be able to defend against him. We'll have to wait and see. Russell, though, getting extremely what was I going to say? Perez is getting extremely close to Russell. 4/10 is the gap. The current drive of the day vote is 15% to Tsunoda, 14% to Leclerc, and 11% to Lando Norris. Sergio Perez gets that overtake done extremely nicely, and now the job is that that Sergio Perez has got to pull a 5-second gap to George Russell. He's already pulled half a second. He's now pulled 7/10 of a second, but with only 4 laps left to go, it's going to be a tall order. Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, yeah. Still very annoyed about that penalty. How is Mercedes going to be in second place now? Just rejoined. Mercedes going to be in second place because Perez has got a 5-place grid penalty. A 5-place grid penalty. Not a 5-place grid, but 5-second time penalty, which will push him down from 3rd into 4th, which means that Mercedes will get their points that they need. And in fact, Carlos Sainz is under pressure from Lance Stroll. So if he loses that position, they lose 1 extra point, which I think it's not critical because Ferrari have won a race, whereas Mercedes haven't, which means they automatically go ahead by default. But yeah. All right. I mean, this is the thing. Like the battle between Leclerc and Russell, it's not even in either of their hands. I mean, I guess it's in Russell's hands. There's nothing Ferrari can do though. Ferrari just have to wait and hope Russell, makes a mistake or something and drops out the 5-second window. And they need Perez to pick up the pace. There's nothing that Ferrari can do. I mean, Hamilton, Sainz could catch up to Hamilton 11 seconds in 3 laps, which would be miraculous. But yeah, and Sainz has to pit again anyway. Yeah, so Sainz's point isn't critical. But yeah, Russell finishing in 4th rather than 3rd is critical. All right. Yeah. How many people have we got watching the stream? Let's have a look. We have got 5,400 people. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you are enjoying the coverage, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Definitely does help out the channel. And yeah, it's been quite a pleasure commentating to you guys. I'm going to have a quick drink of water and then we've got the final 3 laps of commentary remaining. And Carlos Sainz has been told to come into the pits because he's only done 2 stints on hard tyres, so he's going to have to come in for a set of softs for the end of the race. Oh, we have hit our subscriber target. I'm not going to change it. We've got 2 laps left of the season. But yeah, very much to appreciate everyone hitting the subscribe button. All right. We have now got Fernando Alonso. Nice move there on Yuki Tsunoda to get that 7th position. And Tsunoda's tyres, yes, very much dropping off. And if Hamilton even gets his 8th position, there's no. It will be a definite game over for Ferrari. George Russell has got a lap time deleted. Track limits at turn number 1. Oh, Leclerc's coming over the radio. Leclerc wants to give Perez a slipstream. Oh yeah, Leclerc wants to give Perez a slipstream to try and close that 5-second gap. Unfortunately, with only 2 laps left to go, it's going to be extremely tough. I mean, 3 seconds is the gap now. We're on the final lap of the race. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Max Verstappen has led 1,000 laps this season, guys. 1,000 laps. That is incredible. Yeah, wow. What does lap time deleted mean now in the race? Oh, it means doesn't really mean much. If he got like multiple lap time deletions, then he would get a penalty. But no, yeah, hasn't got multiple lap time deletions. Oh, look at this. Leclerc dropping back, in fact, to give Perez a tow to get a slipstream. But yeah, I mean, he's trying absolutely everything. Oh, is Leclerc? Oh, no, Leclerc. If Leclerc slows down and blocks Russell, that would be absolutely brilliant to see. Right, I'm going to keep an eye out on this. Oh, why is it frozen just now? Like, it just doesn't have to freeze now. And if I refresh it, it will be over by the time the race is over. Let's see what Leclerc does. Is he going to try and hold up George Russell? No, he's not. Right, here comes Max Verstappen. It is the final sector of the season. He has driven an absolutely wonderful car in an absolutely wonderful manner all season long. He's led 1,000 laps, the first driver in Formula One to do that. He comes across the line to be the champion of the world for the third time in a row, and Max Verstappen has won once again in Abu Dhabi and the World Drivers' Championship. Sergio Perez comes across the line now in second position. Is he going to pull out that gap? And the gap, unfortunately, is 4 seconds, not the 5 that Charles Leclerc needs. And they come across the line now, and we have got Sergio Perez in second, but with the 5-second time penalty, that pushes him down into fourth. And Russell is in third, and Leclerc's in second. Yeah, wow. And there have been a whole lot of fireworks here. I'm sure we'll get quite a few burnouts and whatnot. But yeah. All right. So that's it, really. That has been the season. Quite incredible, to be fair. Not the most exciting season, of course, but nevertheless, it's been. We've had quite a few good races. Yeah, let's just quickly review what happened. Everyone's now come across the line, apart from Magnussen's already come across the line as well. Right, let's see. Does Max Verstappen do a couple of burnouts? I mean, I'd love to see that on the start-finish straight. And yeah, there you go. The 5-second penalty has been updated. Leclerc in second, Russell in third, and Perez in fourth. So Mercedes takes second place in the constructors, and they get the extra 12 million in prize money. Williams get the 7th place in the constructors, and they get the extra 9 million in prize money over AlphaTauri, who finish in 8th. Yeah, right. So that has been the 2023 season. I will be streaming for 2024 as well. So yeah, I might change my channel name. I might change it to like Motorsport Commentary or something like that, or Formula One Commentary, because as F1 Gamer really isn't a very good name. But yeah. Max Verstappen over the radio just saying it's unbelievable and all of that stuff. Why is Science DNF'd? I don't know why Science is DNF'd. Interesting. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, who knows? I'll try to find out, but they're just showing Max Verstappen and his team radio. All right. Well, I'm just waiting to see if Max Verstappen does burnouts, and then I'll be sure to end the stream soon enough. And here he is coming onto the main straight. There's lots of people around, so I don't know if you... Is he going to do a couple of burnouts? Come on, Max. If we could get some burnouts, that'd be great. No, he just... Is he parked? No, right. He stopped the car. He puts it into neutral. He puts it into first gear, and then there we go. We get a couple of burnouts there from Max Verstappen. Great to see. Yeah, it's just, we get the burnouts all with the fireworks. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Okie dokes. So that has been the season. That's been the Grand Prix. Leclerc parks up in second position, unfortunately third in the constructors though. And then we've got George Russell in third. Yeah. Don't end the stream yet. Just give us celebrations after a long season. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't exactly celebrated much. When is the next race next year? It's probably summertime in March, I think. Maybe March, maybe February. End of February, probably. Yeah. All right. Mm, what was I going to say? Not much else to say, really. I have no idea what happened in science. To science, he just did one lap and then maybe came into the pits. Not sure. He came out on a set of softs, but maybe he just pitted before the end of the race. Not really sure. Yeah. So that's been the stream. Only Max Verstappen, the only driver to do donuts. And to be fair, Max Verstappen has pretty much won everything. All of the other drivers have just been trying to catch up. Yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in for the entire all season long. It's been a pleasure reading all your messages in the chat. It's quite nice to see people tuning in stream after stream and coming along to watch. Unfortunately, of course, I can't read out all of your names one by one. We would be here forever. So yeah. It has been quite an interesting season. Hopefully next season a lot more exciting. Of course, we've got McLaren on the up, so is Ferrari, Mercedes as well. If they can bring a couple of major upgrades, then we could see them potentially competing as well. Yeah, there's really not much else to add. Thank you everyone for tuning in for all season long. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys and reading all your chat messages. Have a wonderful off-season winter break. Be sure to, have a lot of fun, get a nice bit of rest of Formula One and do stuff on your weekends. I'm sure I will be. And have a wonderful morning, day, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world, and have a wonderful winter break as well. Thank you for all of the lovely messages in the chat, guys. Everyone saying thank you, very much appreciated. And yeah, I will be commentating. Probably I'll try to do preseason testing next year, and then just the usual qualifying and the races for Bahrain, which I think is the opening race of the season. Okie dokes. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you in a couple of months. Cheers, fellas.